Hello, welcome. Today we are chatting about homeostasis. Thank you, Laura, for choosing this subject. Okay, I'm actually very excited about this one because homeostasis is an absolute badass way that our body survives. And without it, you would die. I've done a very quick search and I've gone onto the AQA Exam Board website. If you're not in the UK, do not worry. The AQA spec is a UK exam board, but the definition will be very similar wherever you are in the world. I mean, homeostasis is the same thing after all. So I'm going to read it out, okay? Homeostasis is the regulation of the internal conditions of a cell or organism to maintain optimum conditions for function in response to internal and external changes. Yes. Let's rewind. Your cells undergo important processes like cellular respiration, where they turn glucose into energy. If you haven't watched my video on cell respiration yet, I will put a link in the description below. Now, to carry out these processes, we need these conditions to be spot on. I mean, perfect. Perfect. There's a teeny tiny window of perfection where conditions need to be. These conditions are the optimum conditions, and we need them at this point for cells to survive. This means that if things like temperature, pH, glucose, or water levels aren't right inside your body, then your cells won't be able to function and you would die. I really need to work on the whole excessive chat about death. To keep cells happy, your body will constantly monitor things like blood and tissues through homeostasis. To explain this, let's head to the drawing board. Let's look at the definition again, okay? So homeostasis is the regulation of the internal conditions of a cell or organism to maintain optimum conditions for function in response to internal and external changes. Okay, so the next big question then is, how does the body actually maintain these optimum conditions through homeostasis? And to understand, I am going to do what all scientists do, play on my Wii. Yes. Homeostasis uses an automatic control system, and this basically means a system that can detect something and then respond in a particular way. And a Wii is very similar. The controller and the bar at the top detect what it is that you want to do. The Xbox processes the information, and then the screen responds in a particular way. The body's own automatic control system will detect something, process that information, and then respond in a particular way. Although we don't really have plastic controllers. To learn more, let's head to the drawing board. The part that detects stimuli or changes in the environment, such as an increase in temperature, are called receptors. And the part that receives and processes information from the receptors are called coordination centers. And these include the brain, spinal cord, and pancreas. The parts that then respond by restoring optimum levels, and in this case lowering body temperature, are called effectors. And these include muscles or glands. Homeostasis is an incredible process that keeps you alive. Now, there's something very special about the way that homeostasis works, and to explain this, I'm going to head outside to the shed for no reason whatsoever. Welcome to the shed. Homeostasis runs on a negative feedback loop, which means that the effector responds in the opposite way to the stimuli. If your body thought it was too hot, then it would basically lower your core temperature. And if it was a little bit too cold, then it would respond by increasing your core temperature. For those of you who like cake and you like sugar, then your body responds in exactly the same way, because basically you increase the sugar concentration in your blood when you eat loads of sugar, so your body needs to respond in the opposite way because of a negative feedback loop by lowering the sugar concentration in your blood. And this, my friends, is where the power of insulin comes in, and we will be covering that in another video. I want to be honest, I found homeostasis as a subject really difficult when I was at school. I'm not going to lie, I also thought, why do I even need to know any of this? I mean, why is it even important? If biology isn't your thing and you're only here because you have to, or maybe you are interested in it, then whatever reason, if you kind of think about it in the context of survival, like you wouldn't be able to survive or have anything, you just wouldn't be here. And it was only when I started thinking about biology in this sort of way that it kind of all started to make sense. So let's just continue this video with this whole concept of, this is the reason why we are here, or part of the reason, and this is the reason why life in general and biology in general is important. Okay, lecture over, let us continue. Okay, so we get all the stuff about the negative feedback loop and the fact that the effectors then respond in the opposite way to the stimuli. But what would happen if it was a positive feedback loop? I mean, would that be a bad thing? Imagine for a second that you're really hot. I mean temperature hot, not that kind of hot. And your body reacts by increasing your body temperature. What would happen in that situation? Well, you would probably overheat and you might even die. In a positive feedback loop, so it actually reduced your body temperature when you were cold, so it responded in the same way to the stimuli, then you would just get more cold and then you could end up with hypothermia and you might even die. When homeostasis doesn't work, it can be life-threatening. So diseases like diabetes, and even when you get a fever, is basically because your body can't sustain its optimum conditions, and then your whole entire balance is thrown off. But why would homeostasis stop working? I mean, what actually happens? And what better way to describe all of this than with a hot cup of tea? Because right now I am freezing. See you in a second. Cheers. Okay. Do you remember these little guys? From earlier, we have the receptors, the coordination center, and the effectors. The receptors detect the stimuli, the coordination center processes that information, and then we know that the effectors respond in the opposite way to the stimuli, usually through negative feedback. But there's something missing here, because how do the effectors know to respond in a particular way? How does the control center even know what the receptors have detected? And the thing that is missing here is communication. There needs to be a link between them, just like this. He's doing the splits now. Thank you very much, Camel. The body has two main communication pathways. The first one is the nervous system, and this is very, very fast. It's basically like having super fast Wi-Fi. The second one are chemical responses and hormonal responses, and this is part of the endocrine system. And the thing about this is that they're great and everything, but they are much slower than the nervous system. It's kind of like when you're in the middle of nowhere in a field or something like that, and you have no internet connection at all, or you go around to your grandma's and she has really slow Wi-Fi or something like that, and you're like, ah. The nervous system and the endocrine system are used to send signals between the receptors and the coordination centers and the effectors. So now you know what homeostasis is, and that it uses an automatic control system to send signals from receptors to the coordination center to effectors that then respond to the stimuli in a negative feedback loop. All of this keeps you alive, which is very, very important. I'm sure that you would agree. To find out more about the chemical responses and the nervous system, then join me for my next videos, because I am going to be doing a small mini series on homeostasis. I will also put some links down below in the description if you need any help, and none of these links is sponsored or anything like that. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing, because it would be awesome to have you here. See you next time.